Imagine being a global star with royal access, yet your second lifestyle brand launch flops spectacularly, like cheap, flat rosé nobody drinks. Meghan Markle's latest relaunch wasn't just a fail, it's a slow-motion disaster even fans can't defend.
Meghan Markle is making last-minute changes to her highly anticipated lifestyle brand, formerly known as American Riviera Orchid.
Meghan's American Duchess launch of luxury fruit spreads and floral jars felt like desperate marketing. Items showed sold out instantly, not from real demand, but a switch flipped for hype. Scarcity tactics can't fool twice, especially after a rebrand from American Riviera Orchid.
What she hasn't told us is that the reason she can't use that brand name, American Riviera Orchid, is because it's been tied up in legal battles for the last few years. You know, there was copyright issues. So she's now saying, oh, all along I wanted to call the firm as ever, as if, did you? No, you didn't. You branded this stuff as something completely different.
Then there's Meghan in the launch video, looking nothing like the flawless Duchess we're used to. She was off. The energy? Flat, eyes darting like she just got caught sneaking cookies. Awkwardly framed shots, zero eye contact, and a smile that screamed, "I'm trying hard to sound happy, but help." That's when the public collectively went, "Wait, what's going on here?"
So you're Aldo the Apache.
So you're the Jew hunter.
I'm a detective. A damn good detective.
This wasn't just a bad business move. It was a peek behind the royal curtain. Meghan's whole strategy, smoke and mirrors create buzz, exclusivity, and hype without any real substance. And when you scratch the surface, it's all just hollow floral sprinkle jars.
The whole thing has been a disaster. They spent a year planning it because we were waiting for months and months and nothing.
With bated breath, Angela, bated breath.
Yes. Well, anyway, so it's also no good. So the King's is much better, much cheaper.
Okay, seriously, what even are those floral sprinkle jars? Just some random dried petals tossed into a fancy container with zero purpose, zero story, and absolutely no reason to exist beyond "this looks pretty." Spoiler, that's not a product, that's a mood board for your hipster aunt's Pinterest obsession.
Ooh, that's a bingo.
And then came the jam, or as the polite preserve crowd calls it, a fruit spread that somehow didn't quite cut. Meghan proudly labelled it jam in every interview, but the jam connoisseurs? Not buying it. The texture was all wrong, the pectin usage suspicious, and the apricot suspiciously, conventionally grown. Donna Collins, royalty in the jam universe, didn't hold back and said, "What Meghan's selling is the kind of thing you slap a spread label on when your jam fails." Harsh? Yeah. Fair? Absolutely.
Again, champion jam maker Donna Collins said it's a real disappointment that Meghan is selling a fruit spread, which is what you make when your jam fails. I am not a champion expert in jam making. Ms. Donna Collins is, so I will believe her. I will choose to believe her.
Meanwhile, as Meghan was busy fumbling her luxury fruit fiasco, Prince Harry was spiralling in a whole different way.
It has made it to consumers, finally, after many years and a turbulent launch that had to be reworked and redone multiple times, and, let us not forget, is full of thievery of other people's ideas.
Multiple royal insiders and commentators started ringing alarm bells that something's off with Harry. His public appearances look like he's sleepwalking through them, expressions vacant, energy flat. The growing whispers, he's sinking into something darker.
I would probably drink a week's worth in one day on a Friday or Saturday night, and I would find myself drinking not because I was enjoying, but because I was trying to mask something. Harry also reveals that things felt especially bad between the ages of 28 to 32.
Long before Meghan came into the picture, Harry had been open about battling grief, anxiety, and relying heavily on alcohol and drugs to cope. But lately, rumours are swirling that those demons might be making a comeback. Remember that the London photo is a single still shot, but the look on his face told volumes. Wandering, distracted, looking like a man who's barely holding the reins of control.
But what he didn't factor into his confession, particularly about drug taking in America, is he's not an American citizen.
Yep.
So in a state like California, a lot of Brits might go there and think, oh, it's legal to be seen smoking spliffs. It's not unless you're an American citizen. The federal law for the whole country, which would apply to non-citizens.
No official relapse confirmed yet, but the whispers. Yeah, they're getting louder and honestly, not without reason. Harry's past reads like a never-ending escape plan from himself. And if Meghan's brand is crashing and burning, if their sunny California fantasy is starting to look more like a bad hangover, that pressure isn't just hitting her, it's landing squarely on Harry too.
For someone who claims that he's a humanitarian, I mean, I don't believe Prince Harry's a humanitarian for a
he's
single
not.
second. There's
Never.
one human being he cares about, and that's himself. But he claims to be a humanitarian. Does he have any understanding of the millions of lives around the world that are destroyed because of the scourge of drugs? The young people who get caught up and used by drug dealers, and it actually makes me sick.
While Meghan pushes fake, sold-out floral jars, Harry's reportedly spiralling. This isn't just a flop, it's a royal meltdown in real time. His speeches are robotic, his charm gone. Insiders call it a crisis, a breakdown. The once cheeky prince is now lost, confused, and empty.
If this was an ordinary citizen who had boasted about drug use in this way, there is no way he would have been allowed to enter the US. I've read lots of stories today of ordinary British folk who have been caught by US customs officials. Sometimes they even go through people's phones just to make sure that there's no talk of drug use.
And it's not like the signs aren't flashing neon. This is the same guy who's openly written about turning to drugs and alcohol to numb the pain. Someone who admitted he just wanted to feel anything to escape the crushing weight of his mind. This isn't tabloid speculation. These are his words. And now, his public demeanour is eerily mirroring that inner chaos once again.
So he's admitted breaking the law. That could trigger a review of his visa status.
Absolutely. And, you know, the argument is he's not a threat to the country, so that shouldn't affect him too much. But it just shows he's a very stupid man.
Royal commentators are noticing the signs and growing concerned. Harry seems to be slipping back into old habits. It's not just his behaviour, but the silence from their camp that speaks volumes. His once heartfelt appearances now feel hollow and worrying.
You know, it's a drug addict, isn't it, really? And once you're onto these things, you can't get rid of it. And unless he really, really wants to, he's not going to go, he can go to anybody to help him. But unless he's really determined, and it's not easy, he's got to do it himself.
Behind the chaos is Meghan, not a tabloid villain, but in a subtle, unsettling way. Her business moves are erratic. One week, she condemns fake sellouts. The next, she repeats them. No real plan, just hopes that the Duchess title alone will sell anything.
He doesn't know anything about business. Nobody wanted to become the CEO of what she was making. And so she took it on because she is incredibly clever and always knows best. And she hasn't done it properly.
Her brand's marketing is equally bizarre pastel filters, whimsical fonts, and cheesy cheers dears language ripped from a 2012 Pinterest board. There's no real story or purpose, just pretty visuals with no backbone. Fans now wonder, what does she even stand for?
Well, what else is she going to do? So sure, jam's her jam, but I mean, we've been talking about this potentially being a Gwyneth Paltrow kind of goop business. Are we going to see special candles come out next, or?
Oh my God, or strange eggs to put in strange orifices. I know it's early in the morning there and it's late at night here, so should we just, the mind boggles. It could be like Martha Stewart meets.
And here's the kicker, the products aren't even moving in any serious numbers. Insiders estimate that despite all the sold-out hype, profits are laughably small. Maybe a few $1,000 at best. Newsflash. You can't build an empire on 4 jars of honey posted on Instagram, especially when your product gets publicly roasted by respected industry veterans. When the queen of jams calls your spread a failure in a jar, that's game over.
The other thing is that no one offered to give her some money. No one offered to share it or buy part of it because they didn't think it was any good. So that's why they're not doing it.
They didn't want to be associated with the brand. She said, but didn't she reckon that she, apparently friends are saying, she expected to, wants to become a billionaire. She wants to make serious money.
Meanwhile, Meghan's fan base, once loud and proud, is going eerily quiet. The Sussex squad allegedly tried to boost sales by buying huge amounts of product, but even that felt forced, desperate. Rumours flew of someone snagging 50 jars at once, except the actual purchase limit was 6. The hype wasn't organic, it was staged.
God, this is genuinely, if this person came to my home, I would show them the door. I'd say, seriously, I can't have anyone this irritating and annoying. I mean, why isn't she just... Thing is, I reckon she's looked like the Gwyneth Paltrow's, and he was selling what? Was it? I mean, she actually sold candles scented like her vagina. For God's sake.
Amid the chaos, King Charles stays mostly silent, but deeply worried. Not about headlines, but his lost son. Inside the family, it's damage control. Torn between support and tough love, Charles draws a hard line. You made this mess. You figure it out. Exhaustion, not coldness.
And a key question here is whether or not Prince Harry's application to the United States received full vetting and scrutiny, especially in light of his widespread drug use, which he admitted to in his memoir, Spare. This is an issue of accountability and transparency.
Harry's been wrestling demons since childhood, losing his mom, royal pressures, and the non-stop media circus. Toss in a transatlantic move, marriage, 2 kids, multiple lawsuits, and a lifestyle brand that never really took off. Recipe for burnout? Check. Now the big worry isn't just if Harry and Meghan can make their business work. It's if Harry can keep himself together long enough to find some clarity.
Prince Harry himself, who is very raw, very vulnerable, and I feel like we'll use those words over and over again to describe, because that's exactly how it is. This is the most open that we've ever seen him, the most candid, and I feel like as an audience member, we learn things about his past that we've never heard before, and there is a lot to digest. So with that being said, we're going to break down.
Rumours swirl that King Charles might still be quietly funding Harry and Meghan, despite their dramatic claim they were cut off. If true, it's likely under the radar, a last-ditch effort to keep their sinking brand afloat. But insiders believe any support won't last much longer. Charles faces pressure from the Crown, the public, and his legacy. Bankrolling a PR disaster isn't part of his retirement plan. Then there's Princess Eugenie, the royal wildcard. For a while, she seemed like the last relative not to abandon ship. People assumed she'd stepped back until she showed up at Royal Ascot with Misha Nonu, one of Meghan's closest friends. This sparked speculation. Is Eugenie the Sussexes' secret link to the monarchy? Some call her a double agent, but maybe it's just a candid photo. Eugenie has always balanced royal duty with personal loyalty, likely just trying to survive a divided family without picking sides. As for Meghan, her problems go beyond failed products. She's lost control of her narrative. The media she once weaponized is now skeptical. Even friendly outlets are pulling back. Her messaging feels scripted, her brand soulless. Duchess, influencer, disruptor. Right now, she's just a celebrity pushing overpriced jam, while her personal life collapses behind the scenes. What Meghan and Harry need isn't another reboot, it's real accountability.